put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Okay, and we're back. We do apologize for the technical difficulties, but we're going to continue the conversation here with Miss Second. So, Miss Second, we were talking about the performance of students this year at the SEA.
Right. So we were saying that we are very pleased with the movement, the direction in which we're going in the education sector. A number of observations will have been made as we apply more research analytics to the direction that we want to take education in. So Bobby Andrews would have presented a report recently, and several correlations were established. We know that by and large we have the remedial students carrying down the overall mean when we compare to the national mean. So students who are non-remedial, they are very happy. We are very happy to find out that they are performing above the national mean. So we are good with that. So our focus has to be on the remedial students. We also observed that boys, the remedial boys, are very remedial. So there is a need to focus our instructional strategies on how we teach the boys in the education sector. So those are the major observations that we have made. This is going to inform how we deliver Project Impact. That is our intervention program for remedial students for the July-August period.
Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of the Project Impact, let's talk a bit about the exam itself, SEA, standardized testing. What is your take on that? What is the division's take on that? Do you all think it's a competent way of assessing students in this day and age, 2023? Because I could say for certain when I did SEA, when I did CSEC CAPE, it was a process of memorizing and then regurgitating information. Are the children remembering the things when they go to high school? What is the division's take on the secondary entrance assessments?
Well, SEA, like CSEC or CAPE, or any other exam that we have at tertiary level, is a high-stakes exam. It is used for us to place students. Every child has a place, but it is used to rank the students and to place them. So we can't dispense with it unless we have a suitable alternative that is fair and demonstrates equity. So the discussion is lovely, the debate is good and healthy, but it cannot be replaced without an effective alternative. Like any high-stakes exam, students have to be prepared beyond just regurgitating. They have to know how to critically think. So a lot of your mathematics questions require you to think through and to use some logical approaches to arriving at the answer. So it's not just about regurgitating it, especially the last two sections of the math paper. You have to reason your answer out.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so let's start talking about Project Impact. What are the requirements for the program? I know that you said it's focused on the remedial students. So talk a little bit about the requirements and the structure of the program as well.
All right, so I want to chat about the 3 target groups that we have this year. We want to encourage every parent to send your child if your child belongs to any of these 3 categories. So the first category, if your child earns 0 to 30% in the SEA exam, whether they're resitting or they have moved on to their secondary school. So the child could be in Form 1, going into Form 1 in September, or returning to their primary school to repeat. So they scored 0 to 30%, the program is for you. We also want children going from Standard 3 to 4 and Standards 4 to 5 who have earned an R or an F in the exam, that is 50% or less overall. So we want all of the remedial students to register now so that we can arrange our program and select the centers to best suit where they are located, their geographical location.
Okay, so it's like a summer school kind of program in a sense. Is it that parents have to voluntarily register their child, or is it a requirement set by the school? So the principal will say, okay, the child scored this amount, and this child is required, this child needs to go to Project Impact.
All of Tobago, what we were saying when we had our press conference earlier this year when we did the analytics, all of Tobago has to understand that literacy and numeracy is a Tobago matter. And we have to have a whole of Tobago approach to improving or teaching and learning. So even though it's voluntary, it's required. Because if we are to improve as a people, if we are to get ready for autonomy, then everybody has to know how to read, how to comprehend, how to think critically, etc. So we want every child who qualifies to be in this program to be in this program. So we're going to have an aggressive campaign of marketing to go out and to encourage the parents to send the child. We'll be calling all of the children because we know all of their parents. We have all of the data. And so we will be telling them what center to go to. We want everybody to come. From September, we are also going to be looking at the parent development. The Chief Secretary would have identified 3 sets of data about the workforce, the current composition of the workforce of the THA. 72% of the people who work in the THA do not have any post-secondary education. They do not have a tertiary degree. So 12% of them have primary education. Some of that are people who don't know how to read. So we have to also impact the adults, the parents, the grandparents, etc. So by bringing out the children for the summer program, we are going to be laying the foundation to penetrate the entire society in Tobago with literacy and numeracy training.
Okay, so I could definitely see that the research was aggressive in that sense. In terms of the program, I know that you said it runs from July to August. Is there going to be something for maybe the Christmas vacation, Easter? I mean, even during school time, because as you said, a lot of the parents, they probably only have primary school education. So how can they assist their children with their homework? Does the division have anything in place to assist those type of students who genuinely need the help after school?
Yes. So it's going to be a long intervention, a long-term intervention. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So for the July-August period, from July the 17th to August the 14th, we're going to have this program where we teach students not just literacy and numeracy, we also focus on technical vocational skills, agricultural science, culinary arts, etc., dance and drama, and so on. Beyond that, we have to take these children throughout the entire year. So from mid-September, for 1.5 hours, 2 days a week, we're going to have students who qualify that same percentile within the education sector coming out with capable tutors, and we are going to drill that literacy and that numeracy, and we are going to improve our remedial stats over the year. So that is going to be a year-long program. So we want everybody to participate. We want the fisher folk, the farmers, doctors, nurses, pastors in churches, people running supermarkets, everybody to get on board and to be excited about our Tobago literacy and numeracy improvement campaign.
Okay, and I'm seeing on the flyer there unveiling untapped capabilities. You spoke about pastors and so on being involved in the campaign. In terms of just the academic part of it alone, you said that you all are also doing technical, vocational, so you have dancing, culinary arts and that kind of thing. In terms of the motivation part of it, is there anything within the program where students are going to have, that little motivational moments with somebody? Because, I mean, we all need the encouragement from time to time. And I can imagine that some of those students will need the motivation. So what is the structure like in terms of that for the program?
That's an excellent question. The child is a whole man. You have the cognitive part, you have the spiritual part, the emotional part. So there's an entire section devoted to motivational speaking and motivational engagement, because we would have practitioners in Tobago, persons who are known for their ability to motivate persons to come out and actually contribute to the session. So there is a session devoted to that, keeping the child confident, keeping the child excited, keeping them pumped and ready to work. So it's going to be a situation where we do have a lot of cognitive work, but there's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of opportunity for movement and opportunity for growth mentally and spiritually and emotionally.
Okay, and although COVID is behind us, I mean, COVID did leave a very significant impact in our education society, especially the students who would have done SEA this year. They would have been a part of the cohort of students who would have had that online learning experience. So do you think that online learning experience in any way would have affected some of the results that we have today?
Of course, you have all sorts of factors that resulted in students' underperformance across the globe during the pandemic. To begin with, it was a new experience for teachers, parents, all stakeholders, and students. They had to learn very, very quickly. They didn't even have laws. The Education Act doesn't facilitate hybrid education. So it was quite possible for a teacher to refuse to teach online because we don't have the laws to support it. So everybody had to learn overnight. Parents were at sea, teachers, students. Some persons did not get access at all. There was a lack of access to devices or internet, electricity, food. because persons were losing their jobs and so on. So there was a social component and economic component. So a number of students would have been affected in a negative way. Some very brilliant children didn't acclimatize well to the online system. However, we did learn some good lessons during that period that we want to have on hand. So we have the Hybrid Education Committee that is developing a system, a dual system of teaching and learning that would allow us to use the best approaches from the online learning experience to incorporate with our face-to-face. So we should be able to excel with either format.
Okay, I love that you mentioned that, because I was going to ask you about incorporating, things like the Google Classroom and that kind of thing into not only project impact, but into the school system, because I found it very useful to have all your projects there and all your handouts, so that you don't have all this paper. A teacher give you something and you're asking the student for the next day and they don't know where it is. You have it right there on your computer, your tablet, whatever device it is you have. So, it's easily accessible. Yeah, so I love that you all are encouraging that. I love that the research, as I said, is very, very aggressive research. The figures, statistics, I am a sucker for those kind of things. So I really, really love that. And I must commend the division on the step that they are taking to increase Tobago's performance at the national level for SE. So parents, teachers, all stakeholders, be sure to enroll your children for Project Impact, hosted by the Division of Education, Research and Technology. And Ms. Second, before you go, you could just give the viewers, information as to where they can register, who they can call, and that kind of thing. The requirements, just tell them one more time before we close off this morning's conversation.
Right. So parents, you can go on the website, the division's website, and you will see information about Project Impact. There's a little link there. You just click on it, and you'll be able to see the form and register the child. Alternatively, from 10 o'clock today, you can pass at the Division of Education and fill out a physical form.
Okay.
We want everybody there, so we're looking forward to every child registering.
Yeah, I love how inclusive the registration process is. Thank you so much for chatting with us, Ms. Second. Viewers, we're going to take a short break. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.